Inferno is the sixth thriller novel of Dan Brown, an American writer who is considered to be one of the greatest writers in the last few years. He was born in New Hampshire, and since he was a little child, he had a living passion for science and religion. He attended the Phillips Exeter Academy, where he was raised according to Christian values, and later on he focused on writing. His first novels did not have a particular success, but the fourth book, The Da Vinci Code, is one of the most sold and known books of modern literature. A movie was created after the great success of the book. The movie has Tom Hanks as the main character, Robert Langdon, Felicity Jones as Sienna Brooks, Sitze Babak Knudsen as the Dr. Elizabeth Sinskey, and Ben Foster as Bertrand Zobrist. The novel is set in Florence, Italy, and it revolves around the Dante masterpiece, The Divine Comedy, and around the history of the Black Plague. After a series of events, Robert Langdon is forced to run away from some mysterious figures who want him dead. His movements will lead him to try to solve a mystery, which has every person he met so far as part of a wheel, and he will have to understand the reason for all those events and strange deaths which disturb the serenity of Florence. The story starts again 6 days later when Langdon awakes in a hospital of Florence with no clue of how he got there nor memories of the last 6 days. His mind is filled with visions he cannot understand. While he is in the hospital, one of his doctors, Dr. Marconi, gets murdered by a female killer, Vallenta. Langdon, who seems to be a primary target, is able to escape thanks to the aid of Dr. Sienna Brooks. Despite the fact that she clearly hides something, she is the only one capable of helping him. Langdon discovers in his pocket a strange seal which contains an object, and when he's finally able to open it, he finds out that it can project a picture, Sandro Botticelli's map of hell, along with an anagram. 10 letters were added to the map, one for each page of the Male Bolge. These letters create 2 words, cerca trova, which points to the Giorgio Vasari painting, the Battle of Scannagallo, situated in the Hall of 500 in Palazzo Vecchio, Florence. As danger seems closer and closer, Langdon asks for help to the US consulate, but he finds out that he is a target for them too, and so he runs away again with Sienna. Since now they are both fugitives for the Italian police, the 2 of them set off for Florence Center. Other people will help them out, the genetics professor Bertrand Zobrist and the museum director Ignazio Busoni, also known as the Domino. After stealing with Langdon the mortuary mask of Dante, he dies and leaves a coded message for him. Comes to their aid Jonathan Ferris, a WHO's agent. All the clues lead them to the tomb of the Doge Enrico Dandolo in Venice, Italy. As Langdon is looking for the tomb, he gets caught and brought upon Elizabeth Sinskey, the woman who kept appearing in his vision. He is finally able to put together all the pieces. He had been recruited by the WHO, since he is well known for his knowledge about the Dante's Inferno. He will find out the 3 purposes of the WHO and the existence of the Consortium, a secret organization which helps criminals as well as high-ranked politicians to hide from the world. Langdon will be asked to complete a mission to save humanity from Dr. Zobrist, who started a new plague in the lagoon which does not reflect stars. That is the Istanbul Old Sewers. The WHO and Langdon will finally discover the seal in the sewers, but it will be too late and they couldn't prevent the spread of the disease, a sickness that will make people infertile. According to Zobrist, to create and spread a virus is the only way to reduce the population of the world, because the natural resources will soon start to run out. Langdon will find Sienna in the sewers, who is wanted by the WHO because she was the Zobrist's lover, and will later on work with them in order to prevent the spread of the virus. Langdon will return home hoping for a better future. The American writer is able to meet Earth history, religious icons, and quotes, which helps him create a thriller in which the most beautiful part of Dante's Inferno are shown, which still attracts readers from all over the world. It is a wonderful journey through the literature and the artwork, decorated with secret passages and high-tech stuffs, and Langdon will have to understand who is worthy of his trust. Dan Brown has been criticized a lot because, according to historians and archaeologists, lots of the sources and symbols are false. The greatest example is the one regarding Dante's mortuary mask, because it doesn't even exist. The novel themes are based on enigmas that comes from the interpretation of the Dante texts. The passion of a man for this canticle brought us a story based on many themes. Despite the Great Escape, which is the base situation which leads to everything else, we may find thematic concerning neutrality and indolence, a recurring element of our story. Right at the beginning of the story, we may find written, the most hot places are for those who, when in time of need, remain untouched. This sentence wants the reader to react to things and take position in time of need, just like Langdon did in Dan Brown's novel. Linked to this theme, there is the one of the overpopulation, a social problem supported by the Malthusian thesis, and it shows, in the novel, how to find an extreme and dreadful solution. The background is composed of themes such as isolation, a greatest part of Sienna Brooke's life, and this makes this character complex but at the same time fragile. Sienna Brooks doesn't have a clear background story, but she conquers the reader anyway, as well as Professor Langdon. The emotions the book inspires to its readers is part of its beauty. It is just as if he had shown in one book the fears about the late terroristic attacks, a future that is not too different from the one that we can see today, but it's just as if he has imagined that one day in the world there will be someone who will want to exterminate the world population. As history teaches us, events sometimes tend to repeat themselves after a long period of time, and nowadays we are close to living in a world afflicted by a plague, hate. The movie Inferno was produced in Italy for the first time on the 13th of October 2016, and there are differences in comparison with Dan Brown's novel. They produced a movie in which they could not change the face of Robert Langdon because it is related with the comforting aspects of Tom Hanks. We may say that Inferno keeps inside of it all the elements that we expect: amusement, dynamic movement, and enigmas. The story is fluid, but the screenplay is never at the level of the actors. There are a lot of plot holes that sometimes force the movie in the design direction without the trouble of finding a solution that was shown in the book, other than some improbable situations. The WHO acts like a secret society, with secret agents similar to James Bond. Ridiculous stealth scenes in high crowded places. Places like Florence, Venice, and Istanbul are presented just like if we were to watch a low-budget documentary. A pity, the thematic were right there: overpopulation, human limits, both geographic and moral, and of course the Divine Comedy. Despite all of that, Inferno is a movie that is too fast, just like its screenplay.